If you've ever picked up a baby Taylor or one of the mini Martins and thought, I wonder if those things could sound better or resonate longer, well, why don't you stick around? So this is my baby Taylor, and I've had it for almost a year now. And just like for electric guitars, parts casters are really good for experimenting. Well, this baby Taylor is super good for experimenting. You see, it's got a bolt-on, bolt-off neck with these two screws. The screws I have in it right now are actually white screws. They're deck screws. And then once you remove the neck, you can just take the top off. And you might have seen some of my shorts. Well, I had a lot of people ask me for sound clips for that. And frankly, the first time I took this off, I wasn't as happy with the sound, but also I traveled a lot with it and it got pretty beat up. So yesterday, I wanted to see if I could do it again. I found a second grade top from Alaska Tonewoods that I bought a couple years ago. I bought them, they were cheap. I bought them for experimenting. So I figured that's a really safe and inexpensive way to see what could be done. Okay, so this time I wanted to approach it a little bit differently. If you've been on my website, I have a couple of tools that I built. I have an FFT tool for recording and putting up a spectrograph, but I also have a top thickness calculator. That calculator is based on the equations and formulas in this book by Trevor Gore and Gerard Gillette. I haven't deviated from it. So if you're one of the people that have this stuff in a spreadsheet or don't want to do that work, on my site I have that calculator and it's just free. So anyways, when I took this piece of spruce and I measured it, we start by measuring the boards, right? And getting the length and the width and the thickness as well as the mass, and that lets you compute its density. Then you combine that information with the long waves vibrational frequencies of the boards, the cross vibrational frequencies, and the diagonal frequencies. So what that does is that lets you then predict how big a piece of board needs to be if you want to hit a certain target. For example, if I want a guitar that is this long with a lower bout of this much, and I want that rectangular board to resonate at 75 hertz. When I took the original measurements for this and I plugged it into the calculator, it told me to make this top 1.87 millimeters. So that's pretty different than what this guitar came with. The top that I measured from Taylor, it was actually a pretty nice piece of spruce, and it was exactly 3 millimeters thick. Now I also braced this guitar pretty lightly, and there is, let me just talk about it. So it's a standard X bracing. I did only put one tone bar on each side because it's so little. Underneath the bridge, and you can see that I've still got the bridge bolted on with brass bolts, so it's not actually even glued on. Underneath that, I have a little piece of carbon fiber, and then I put a piece of mahogany for my backing plate under here. That's just what I had on hand, right? And so I suppose I should play a couple of notes on this. So this is going through my normal setup for voiceover. It does have a Grace MP1 preamp, and there is a slight compressor on it, so I'm sorry for that, but that's just how the system is set up, right? And then I have this guitar, I have it tuned up a whole step to an F sharp, so that puts it as close as possible to the normal tension on a steel string, okay? So there's a lot of harmonics in this. The sustain is actually pretty cool. Let me play it a little quieter too. The other thing about this is the harmonics. And I've actually got my hand on the bridge. Let me try that again. Now, I don't think this is going to be a great finger picking guitar, and I'm not a great finger picker either. So the other thing about this is I put a K&K pickup because I had one sitting around that had been kind of a used demo model for the shop. So I figured, what the heck? Why don't we try it? And this is such a weird experiment, playing through an amp and then picking it up with a microphone, but it's very bassy. I'm going to turn that down. Here we go, here's some. Right, so this is I'm running this through a Fishman Loud X Artist. It's a very big sounding guitar amplified.